Hello, everybody. Hello. Shortly, we are going to solve all the world's problems in 1 hour. Einstein allegedly, famously was asked, whilst alive, if you had an hour to solve the world's problems, what would you do? And he said, I'd spend the first 55 minutes working out what they are and 5 minutes solving them.
Now, Jane, you're on a panel with a futurist, another comedian, a psychologist. Are you all well qualified to solve the world's problems?
No.
I can't solve my own problems in 15 minutes, so I'm not sure I'll be able to solve the world's problems.
What I like about the name of the panel, by calling it How to Solve the World's Problems in an Hour, it's actually indicative of what the implications of exponential growth actually are. There's a great line that says that there are decades where nothing happens and there are weeks when decades happen. And I think on the back of these exponentially emerging technologies, we're moving into a time where there will be weeks where hundreds of years of progress occur.
I fundamentally disagree with some of the points and perspectives of some of the panellists, but I can't say that because I am the chairperson.
So you have to be fair.
But it's after 8. It's the last session, of Fodi. Should I not be dangerous too? I don't know. Maybe I should be dangerous.
Yes, okay, we all are tethered to a computer that now registers what we like, what we shop, where we go, what we do, so on and so forth, and that turns into an algorithm that gets fed into this machine that's putting it together with the algorithms of everybody else. I think, if anything, it's just a tremendous opportunity for new forms of insight into ourselves. Like an opportunity.
We already know that about ourselves.
I was quoted yesterday. No, people say, okay, targeted advertising. I don't want advertisers to know more things about me. I'm like, why not?
Because
that means
don't
that
want
they can,
them to.
Okay, then fine, then turn off your phone. But what I'm saying is it provides an opportunity for engineered serendipity, an opportunity to live in a world...
Engineered serendipity? If I buy a pair of Nike Airs, and then for 2 weeks my computer's telling me I could have got it cheaper.
Well, look. I have a constant experience from curating social networks, from curating my social graph on Facebook, on Twitter, and all these other ones, where I have a constant experience of unexpected relevance and unexpected connection. The best definition of serendipity that I read was look for something, find something else, realize that what you found was more conducive to your needs than what you thought you were looking for. So imagine wearing the Google Glass when those come out, and you look at something, and the algorithm recommends something even more interesting that you could have never thought of because it knows everything about you, and it sends you to something far more interesting that ends up sending you some amazing rabbit hole that expands your afternoon and your year.
I've seen that rabbit hole. The rabbit hole is just an advert saying sexy single men in their 60s want to meet you.
Well, I think we have a series of problems. I think the issue of the distribution of resources, I think there's way too many people obviously living in poverty. That's something that needs to be solved. I think another big problem is just the fact that people age and die. I think that's something else that needs to be transcended.
You think we'll be immortal? You think we'll conquer death?
Well, we've already doubled our lifespans, but I do think that there could be a time where indefinite lifespans are a possibility. If we can have molecular size repairing and engineering of our biological tissue, if we can repair ourselves at a faster rate than we're actually decaying, there's no reason why we couldn't stay healthy indefinitely.
Is it desirable, though?
I think absolutely. I don't want to go quietly into that good night. I'll rage against dying of the light. Or as Woody Allen says, I don't want to achieve immortality through my work. I want to achieve it by not dying.
If you convince people that their lives are ephemeral, that this is a limited existence that we have, our subjectivity is fleeting, they will take it much more seriously.
Yeah.
They will do better in the world. They will help people. And I believe that quite strongly, actually. And so I'm not sure that giving people the impression that they will go on forever is somehow going to improve the human condition.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, I don't disagree with you. I actually do think that this limitation imposed by mortality gives life a certain urgency, and that people find cognitive illusions to survive. You're probably familiar with Ernest Becker. He talks about the religious solution, and the romantic solution, and the creative solution. But what I think is interesting about technology is that it's the only thing that actually has helped us transcend these limits. So whether or not it makes us immortal, it has extended our reach.
It will work, but to what end?
Well, we currently fly over oceans in magical machines, and we have technology that allows us to be technologically mediated telepathy, to send our thoughts through time and space.
But why can't we have an enormous juice bar for all the forward-thinking, technologically minded people, and they can just sit there and drink smoothies for the rest of the time? I'll be in the pub eating pork scratchings, and I'm pretty much guaranteed not to go beyond 60 and meet them. So
I'm not sure we'll be doing a lot of solving, but I think that we'll like to think that we're solving the world's problems, and we'll probably come away with that feeling that we've made some meaningful dent in the world. We're constantly working and striving for some better time where we're going to be a better person, everything's going to be clearer, everything's going to be resolved. And the fact is, we never get there. It's like this treadmill that we're constantly striving for this this non-existent plane of existence where it's all gonna make sense, and it's an endless struggle. It doesn't work.
What terrifies me is the element of inevitability to what you're talking about. Like, what if it all doesn't come together? What if it doesn't all make sense? What if I get to this point and then I'm like, oh my God, over there's something more interesting in some lesson that you might not get to. And so I think to me it actually feeds this.
Yeah, it's not. I don't want to say it's universally a bad thing. I do think it's a problem at some level because we set ourselves up for failure.
But it's also different. It's culturally different. It's like I lived in America for a very long time, and in the West Coast, they're always looking to improve stuff. It's like if you look at culture like Italy and France, they're like, no, this is how bread should be. It's great. Don't fuck with it. In America, they're like, why can't we put apricots in it?
So, Jane, what next for you? You're solving the world's problems this evening, and at the end of it, what happens?
Hopefully a beer.
And finally, what would Einstein have made of this panel?
I think he would have thought it was pretty good for a long weekend in Sydney. I think he'd be thrilled to bits with this panel. That's what I think Einstein would think. He'd love it. In fact, he'll probably be attending anyway this evening.